back to my channel. I thought today that I would film a little review of my Gillio Appunto in Undyed. I just think that Undyed is one of those things that people aren't really sure whether to get, so I thought I would share my thoughts and sort of the progress of my planner since I got it. So a little bit of information about this planner. If you didn't see my unboxing, it is actually on IGTV because at the time I wasn't doing YouTube again yet. So I will link it down below. And I just sort of show myself unboxing the package and showing the planner. And yeah, it gives you a bit of an idea. And I will also try and insert a photo of what it looked like when it was brand new. So sort of like the colour. Because if you don't know, Undyed is quite literally undyed, so it does patina as it ages, which we will go into in a moment. Okay, so a little bit about the planner. So this is a Gillio Firenze Epoca Undyed leather A5 Appunto planner. So if you are a little bit confused about Gillio models and things, the Appunto is the notebook cover, so it doesn't have any rings or any strings. It is designed for a bound book, and I use this at the moment with my Hobonichi cousin, though I am thinking of swapping to using it to cover a bullet journal. And I'm not gonna lie, I sort of bought this on a whim. I'd watched the live show on the Monday where they were talking about them, and at the time I'd bought my Hobonichi for this year, but I hadn't I sort of hadn't really decided what I was going to put it in. I wasn't actually planning on buying a Gillio cover for it, but I just suddenly thought, do you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I still had some money left over from an inheritance that I had received, and I just thought an A5 notebook cover is always going to be useful. Of all of the different sizes and things that I could get, I just felt like A5 was the most flexible, I suppose. You can always go back to an A5 notebook is basically what I was thinking. So even if I stopped using the Hobonichi, there's a strong chance that I would be using an A5 notebook down the line. And I bought this because I wanted to have something that was undyed. I'd not had undyed before. I'd originally really wanted an A6 companion in undyed. Before I bought my rust, I was actually holding out and waiting for months and months and months to get an A6 companion in Undyed, and then they restocked the A6 companion in Undyed, and all of a sudden I was just like, I don't know if I really want one. And I love my rust so much. I love the character that it has and how it is patinaing. It's beautiful, and I just could not see myself moving out of it. And yeah, I just was sort of like, oh, I don't really know if I want one. But then when I saw that they were restocking the Appunto, I thought, do you know what, I could get one for my Hobonichi. My Hobonichi, if you haven't seen any of my other videos on my channel, I do share setups and things every month. I journal in my Hobonichi, so I memory plan with stickers in the weekly spread, and then I journal on the daily pages. So this is very much like it's a stay-at-home planner at the moment. It doesn't go anywhere, and that was, I'm not gonna lie, I had a bit of a panic once I bought this. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's coming up to Christmas, like, and I think the big thing that I kept saying to my colleague, like, the planner that I've got it for isn't going to go anywhere. Like, why have I done this? It's literally going to sit on my desk. It's not going to go anywhere. But I'm so glad that I did, because it really does make me want to. I do think that it being in this cover is part of what makes me want to come and use this planner every day. It makes me want to fill out my journal every day. So the Appunto, the A5 Appunto, you get a slip pocket down this side. You have all of these little pockets down here. Then you have the main pocket here, which you slip the notebook into. Then at the back, you have another little secretarial pocket here, another slip pocket that you slip the back cover of the notebook into, and then also a zippered pocket. And then it also has the big back pocket at the back. I don't really have very much in here, but this is, you know, it's a really big pocket where you can put bits and bobs. So it has there's a lot of pockets and places to put things. So I think if you're a little bit worried about using a bound book and not having that place to shove bits of paper and all of that sort of thing, this is a really good option to use as a cover. I mainly, down this side, because this doesn't go anywhere, it's mainly just decorative stuff. Like these are stamps from the parcel that my A6 companion came in that I've kept because I might want to journal about those. I've got a whisker from Bird. I don't know if you can see this because it's so fine. That's actually one of my cat's whiskers that he somehow, I don't know, yeah, I think it must have just dropped out, and I found it, so I've just tucked it in there. I've got a Starbucks card, a little card that came with the scissors that I bought recently. I just like tuck bits and bobs in here, and I've got like business cards and things, and it's just a nice place to keep stuff. And then I've got little bits and bobs in here, and you saw in the back pocket I've got a couple of pencil boards and things. So it's got lots and lots of space to put different things in. It does come with 2 bookmarks, and I really like them because they've got the little circle things on the end. I know that's a silly thing, but I really do love the little circles of leather on the end. I just think that they're so cute. Most planners you see have got like a rectangle on the end of the bookmarks, and I really like that they're a circle. There's just something ergonomically pleasing about them fitting on the pad of your finger, sort of thing. But yeah, so I keep my Hobonichi in here at the moment. Like I said, I am thinking of changing that soon. But let's just talk about undyed leather. So it does patina, it does mark, and it shows its use, and that's the reason that I actually wanted this planner, really, because I knew that I was journaling in this. I have a big thing for it's just my thing. I love it when something shows that it's been used. I do not baby my planners. I do not baby anything, really. I don't baby my handbags. I don't baby my books. I don't, nothing. My stuff gets used because, to be quite frank, if I've spent money on it, what is the point in me trying to keep it pristine when it's been designed or made to be used? So for me, I wanted Undyed because it would show that use. Like, I don't intend to ever sell this. I intend to keep it forever. It is something that I want it to age as I age, so that you can see how it has changed as time has gone on. And this isn't the first planner that I've done this with. Let me just show you. I also have, if you've seen like my planner lineup video, I also mention my traveler's notebook, and this one it is my travel journal, and this is a chic sparrow in the Mr. Darcy buttered rum, and this has the same kind of, it's not the same in that it is waxed, this one, it is coated, but it has the same like way that it patinas as it ages. You can see like the variation in colour on the back. It scratches, it marks, it gets those, it shows that it's lived a life, essentially. And yeah, I just have a real thing about this. If you've never seen any of my artwork or any of the greetings cards that I sell prints and cards that have book spines on, and I illustrate book spines that have been worn, that are broken, that are cracked, that are sellotaped back together, because for me that wear and tear on an item shows just how much you love it. Like, even if you've been careful with an item, if you've used it every day, or you've reread a book, or you've taken a traveler's notebook on your travels with you, it is going to show that no matter what you do. So I think it's important that those sorts of items, that we appreciate that about an item. And I know some people prefer things to be perfectly pristine. They don't like them to have character, and that's, you know, that's your preference. But if that's the sort of person that you are, you like things to be perfect, this is not the planner for you. I'm just going to say that right now. This is not the planner for you, because it does mark, it does show its age. And I think it does it, it does the cow justice to allow that to happen. Companies that take leather and they sand it down so that it's all perfect and pristine, you're not appreciating what that animal went through, what that animal's life was. And that's something that I've come to realize as someone who was vegan for a short amount of, well, a relatively short amount of time. I was vegan for about a year and a half, and what I learned from it is that I want to, if I am going to consume animal products in any way, I want to do it in a way that is that honours that animal, basically, and isn't mindless, and I'm making conscious decisions with what I'm doing. But yeah, anyway, we're veering off topic now. But yeah, so the planner, so the leather, a couple of things that were on here when I bought the planner. It did have this little freckle. I don't think, can you see it? That little freckle up there, that was already there when I got the planner. And I can't quite tell whether it was like a bug bite or if it was a freckle or a mole or something. And then it also had this one on the back here, and it had this tiny little, I don't know if it's going to focus for you to be able to see that. Hang on, let me see if I can get it to focus. Oh, might be wobbling a little bit, hang on. There we go. So can you see that tiny little mark there? It did have that mark, and I think that is actually a like a scar, because it just looks a bit like a barbed wire scar or something, like it's been poked, like the leather was poked at some point. So it had that when it arrived, and I don't know whether that is actually natural variation or if that was what made it premium good deal. I didn't ask for photos or anything, so I don't actually know what made this a premium good deal. I should say that just so that you know. Let me just get us back into focus. So yeah, I don't know what thing made it a premium good deal, but to be honest, I just think, well, you know, I'm intending to use it, so I don't really mind if it has some little little variations about it. It's not something that bothers me at all. So the outside of the leather has got this beautiful texture. I wouldn't call it pebbly. I would say, because it's almost like, it's like lines almost in the, it's almost wrinkly. I wouldn't call them pebbles. I mean, someone might, but I wouldn't, because you've got variation where it's quite smooth in areas, and then you've got more like these like creases almost in the texture here. And then on the back, you've got a bit that's very smooth. And then again, you've got those creases. And this is what I like about Gillio, that they don't sand down their leather. They allow it to be how it is. And then the strap is quite a smooth leather, I would say, as well. And then on the inside, when I first got this, I was so excited because you can really see the variation on these pockets. So you've got, now this I would call pebbly. That's what I would call pebbly leather. You've got kind of like the almost more veiny here. You've got pebbly here, and then you've got completely smooth, but almost like with this like veiny pattern in it on these pockets. And then on the side, you've got like a little bit more pebbly at the bottom, and then it goes to smooth. At the back, you've got smooth here, and I don't know if you can see the variation in colour there. That's natural. I've not spilt anything on that. That's just natural variation in colour. So I don't know if that was like a birthmark or something, which as a human with a birthmark on my face, I always think that seeing this sort of thing on animals is really nice, because then it's like, yeah, they are just like us. And then this pocket has again got that sort of like wrinkly, veiny kind of look. So yeah, lots of variation in the leather on this planner. It is very, it's very soft is how I would describe it. You can see it has built a patina in terms of colour. It's not got a hugely shiny patina yet. If I show you my A6 Compania, so this one I carry with me every day, and you can see the shine on that one. This one hasn't got as much shine yet. It's not quite, it's so basically you can tell like this is a planner that stays at home. It doesn't get handled as much. It's used a couple of times a day. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. But yeah, it's kind of soft. It's got this squeak. Can you hear that? That is kind of known for the undyed leather, because it basically, undyed leather just hasn't gone through the like colour bath process. So it has all of the other treatments, but it doesn't get dyed. It doesn't go through that colour bath treatment. And that colour bathing doesn't just colour the leather, it also slightly changes the texture of it and things depending on what colour you have. So yeah, so a few things to note about the patina. So you can see it's definitely darker around the edge than it is in the middle. And that is because I often do this. I often put this one, because I fill these two planners out every day, and I often stack this one on top of that. And you can actually sort of see around the outside where the colour is slightly lighter than it is around the edges. You can see the most stark tan line here where the popper is. I don't sunbathe this planner. I leave it on my desk. Sometimes I put it away on its shelf, but more often than not it's actually left on my shelf on my desk, which is next to a window. There's a window just here, so it does get sun. And then the back is much lighter than the front. Hang on, let me see if I can. Let me open it this way so that you can see. Yeah, so you can see like the back is, it's definitely more of a, it's got like a lighter patch, and then it gets slightly darker over the spine, and then it's darker on the front. It's coming up more yellow on camera than it is in real life. It actually has more of a like a peachy tone to it, I would say. Like it's like a peachy tan. It's definitely not the yellow that it's coming up on my screen right now. But yeah, it's just beautiful. It's just the way that it's aging, I'm loving to see. So let's talk about the things that I'm sure you were like, oh my God, when I started this video. This. So this here, I don't actually know how this happened. I think, because I don't know if can you see it's got like striations in it almost. I think that this is from my hand. I think it might be from my thumb actually. It's about the right size. I put facial oil on. That's what I use as my moisturizer. I use rosehip oil, and I think that's what that might be. I think it might be rosehip oil. So it hasn't come out. I can't actually remember when it happened because I didn't notice it first. And I'm not really bothered about it. I know some people would be like really like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. But I'm thinking it must be oil, because I have dropped water on this and it did nothing. I dropped water on it and just let it dry, and it left no mark whatsoever. So that's why I'm thinking that this must be oil based. And yeah, I use oil on my face, and obviously I apply it with my hands, so then it stays on my hands. So I'm really not that fussed about it, to be honest. There is one more mark on the front here. I don't really know how that one happened. It's just slightly darker. It's not something to really pay much attention to, really. It just adds a little bit of character to me. I have got a couple of marks. I don't know if it's going to be able to, you can just about see there, where I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're ink. I don't know if they're just a little bit of dirt and it just needs a wipe. I'm not sure. And then I have got a very slight darker mark on the closure there as well. And again, I don't know whether that is just a little bit of ink. I am a fountain pen user and I do get ink all over my hands. So, and that to me, you know, that's just part of my life. That's part of what I do. I love fountain pens. I write in this in fountain pens. So there is going to be ink. And if it gets on the planner, that's perfectly fine for me. I mean, if you've not seen this one, I shared this on Instagram. I spilled ink all over this planner at one point. Let me see if I can find the page. There you go. So yeah, I spilled ink all over this planner at one point. So it really would not be that unusual for it to get a big blob of ink on it. But yeah, right, the back. So on the back, this is definitely ink. So this, I don't know how this, I think this might have actually been that there was a bit of ink on my desk and I put it down on it and it has got a little bit of ink on it there. But again, I'm not bothered. It is going to get marks on it as it ages, and you know, that'll sort of, it'll just add to the character of it, I suppose. It has got a couple of little freckles, which as it has got a little bit more sun on it, they are coming through. They're like actual freckles. They're not the almost like grey black, which is the colour ink that I use a lot of this one. They are more like of a tan freckle colour. And they're really cute to see. The one thing that I would note about the leather on the Gillio planners, it's the same on this one. This one isn't too bad at the moment because I did clean it recently, but because it does have texture, it does pick up dirt. I don't know if can you see here? These little sort of like dark grey bits, they're just dirt, and it is just like dirt from my desk basically, where it's been sat on my desk, and they do rub off, and sometimes I wipe them with a cloth, sometimes I just rub them off with my hand, but it is just something to bear in mind. So you do go through a phase with the Undyed where it does just look a bit dirty, but for me, I don't mind, because that's, you know, again, it's part of its journey. It's just, yeah, I would say if you're the sort of person who expects your planners, your leather planners, to be completely pristine and them all to be exactly the same, and then Gillio is not the company for you. So I wouldn't shop with them. And you know, I'm not just saying that, they say that as well. And it's nothing, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, that I think any differently of you for that. It's just it's something that they're very proud of, that they you know, that they use leather that is a byproduct of the meat industry. They use artisans to make each individual planner, so they're all handmade. So there is going to be variation, and that's part of the that's part of why you buy a Gillio, really. But yeah, so that is sort of the progress and patina on my, you can see on my Undyed, sorry, you can see that I'm getting slightly darker points where the texture is on the back. Occasionally I do leave it this way up, not very often though, as you can see. And you know, I really like that, you know, that texture's starting to really come through. So I hope that you found that useful. If you have got any questions about my Undyed or about the rust even, I don't mind answering questions about that as well. Feel free to put them down below. I just think that it is one of those, they're a big purchase. Like, I'm not the sort of person who could just, I can't just go and buy myself a Gillio every week if I feel like it. There are people out there, and that is, you know, more power to them, that they've managed to get a good job where they can just go and buy one every week if they want to. I don't have that kind of funds, so buying myself a Gillio is a real treat. It is something that I save towards, and I work really hard, not just in my day job, but I run a shop, so I save little bits from what I earn from my shop, from my business, to be able to afford these things. So I think when you are making this kind of purchase, it's very useful to see as many comments and reviews and things as possible. But yeah, so that is my A5 Appunto. Hopefully you'll be seeing it a bit more often because, well, I know you're seeing it monthly anyway because of my Hobonichi setup, but as I'm thinking of using it for an everyday carry for a bullet journal, it will probably patina even more. So I might even I might do maybe another review in another, say, 6 months or so, just to sort of again show how the patina has changed and just to show the life of this planner really as it gets older. But yeah, I hope that you found this useful. As I said, if you have any questions at all, please do drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. If you are interested in buying a Gillio, especially if you are interested in buying an Undyed, they are very hard to get. You do have to be like ninja fingers to try and get one, and you have to, you have to be there bang on the time to then check out. You need everything to be set up and ready because they are incredibly covetable. They are, they're in very high demand. So if you do think you want one of these, then be prepared to have to wait for quite a while. Like I said, I was waiting for an A6 one from like February, I think it was, or January or February in 2020, and I bought my rust and I think it was August, because I just saw the rust and thought, do you know what, I actually really like that one, and then I decided that I didn't want one, and then I eventually got this one in November. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you are interested in a Gillio, joining the Gillio Firenze fan group on Facebook. Some of the Gillio staff are in that group as well, so they can help with questions or they can direct you to the right place. It's a real supportive community. The one thing I would please do not do, ask that you do not do, because it drives me nuts when people do, is they go in the group and they're like, oh my god, these planners are so expensive. Yes, they're expensive for a reason. This is not the type of brand to go for if you are not willing to pay for the quality that you're getting. So please don't go in the group and be like, oh my god, they're so expensive. We know they are, but it's for very good reason. This is a luxury planner. This is not like a Filofax, it's a luxury planner. But yeah, right, so I hope that, like I've said this how many times now, I hope that was really helpful. And if you did like this video, I have lots of videos on my setups and things on my channel. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Bye.